boss and a candy man. Like a freight train rolling, bringing truth bombs down the line. Promoting the Southland 1 week at a time. Promoting the Southland 1 week at a time. SCV chat starts now.
Faversham, everybody. Views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those SCV, GC, New Division Brigade, Camp Service, subsidiary, just those of us expressing it. If you call that, you are good.
Is cereal a soup? We don't know.
Cereal is not a soup. Fun fact of the day.
Yeah.
I did not Google this during the business session.
No, he did.
I could not do it during the awards luncheon. It was during that little bit of downtime when I was trying to take my nap that I Googled, and cereal is not a soup. Soup comes from something, the broth has to be made from beef, boiling of beef or vegetables or some type of broth. The broth is what makes soup. So cereal is not a soup.
People have been asking, y'all are a lot more lively. And
nope, haven't had anything to drink except for...
We have not drank anything.
I just chugged this so I could have something to spit in because I hide no fact that I dip tobacco.
No, we're just hopped up on caffeine, I guess?
No, because I crashed from my...
Oh, gosh.
So I had a very late morning and decided that it was a great idea to power chug 4 shots of espresso after a normal cup of coffee, and when it hit me right in the middle of the,
you could smell color.
I could almost smell color. I could see sounds. And Forrest was sitting right beside me, and my ADHD was acting up bad. I was shaking and moving, and just it was awful.
He's used to that. He grew up with that. That's me still to this day.
Yeah, well, you didn't have 4 shots of espresso this morning. I did. Anyway, It is day 2. Well, technically day 2 of broadcast. Officially day 1 of the SCV National Reunion 2022 in Cartersville, Georgia. I forgot what number it is.
127th.
127th. Wow. Thank you, Forrest, for
I said it first.
Yeah, but he's doing the professional behind the scenes, countdown and all that.
Wow.
Anyway, 127th National Reunion. So let's start off with what y'all should have seen this morning. I know for our fans and friends in the Central Standard Time, it was at 7 a.m., so you may not have seen it, but it should be on our Facebook and YouTube.
Yes,
Facebook.
It's on Facebook. Mm-hmm. I didn't have time to set up StreamYard because my phone was acting up. The good way to start the day.
Yeah.
And so I was only able to do it on Facebook. We started a bit late, but we were able to catch, I would say, 90% of the opening ceremony.
So we had the opening ceremonies, which consist of greetings from several dignitaries from other organizations, including the SUVCW, the MOSB, the UDC, I believe the OCR, somebody from Georgia House of Representatives. Forrest says Dawes likes our video day 2. So far, we're broadcasting more than last year. It's true.
This is 100% true.
So far, we are broadcasting more end-of-the-day recap shows.
Last year, we did one, and then we did another one at, the end of the reunion.
Yeah, well, we did it like our normal Monday show.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there was that. Adam gave his executive director's report, as well as the budget for this next upcoming year.
Mm-hmm.
We have passed a budget, which is probably the single most important thing, because if we don't pass a budget, we have to operate under last year's budget. So given the fact of inflation and everything costing more, we have to be able to pay for stuff, and budget is important for that.
Haversham, Jerry.
Faversham.
What'd I say?
Haversham.
Javersham.
I wanted to do the Cool Whip thing from Family Guy. Say fa. Say Haversham. All together now. Faversham. Here we go. Thomas Franklin has been seen wandering around. In case y'all haven't seen him
Bless his heart.
We're going to try to get him on the show eventually at some point.
He walked in the reunion today and then walked out.
Yeah, the number of people just kind of
I don't think he likes big crowds.
Because it is a packed reunion.
Yeah, it's very packed. He doesn't like big crowds.
So anyway, digressing back to what we went through today. So after that, we had an update on the museum from Jimmy Hill, which is a great update. Several donations of not only items that Jimmy alluded to yesterday when he was here, but financial donations and things of that nature. Let's see what all we got, and didn't get into reports of officers except for the judge advocate. He was able to give a nice report on legal stuff. And of course, Chief of Heritage Jobs Donnie Kennedy gave his, and then rolled into the a little bit more expounded version in the Heritage Luncheon, which you go back on our Facebook page and see. It had we had to split that into two parts for some reason. Facebook.
I think Facebook. From what I understand, since we didn't use StreamYard, I think they were capping us at a time limit.
Which was stupid.
Yes.
Got the Moose Mania shirt in the mailbox today.
Big Papa. Speaking of Moose Mania, if you want to be a part of this year's Moose Mania movement, please get a picture with me and the Moose.
And like we mentioned, Jimmy Hill did a museum update, which was really good. We got to see all the progress with the walls and stuff. And it's what we mentioned last night. The picture of Raphael Sims was unveiled. We got to see the copy of Uncle Tom's Cabin, as well as another book. I didn't catch the name of it, but it was published in the 1863, written in 1862 from one of the editors of the Richmond Examiner. I can't recall the editor's name, but it was a year diary, for lack of a better term, on how we were kicking butt and taking names in 62.
Jack, elections are Saturday.
Yes.
They'll all be in one day.
We're going to get to that in the next little bit on what's coming up on our schedule of events. There were the tours, of course, that went on today. Today at 4:00, we couldn't cover it because I had my caffeine high. I crashed for my caffeine high. Daddy Moose and Moose also crashed as well. That's one thing. That's one thing about National Reunion. Everybody who I work with, I said, well, I'm going out of town. They think, oh, you're going on vacation.
No.
Depending on how involved you are in the organization, it's not. It's kind of like being back at work for your second job almost. Especially for Moose, who's also an aide-de-camp for the Commander-in-Chief, having to run and pass notes and fetch people up when it's their turn to speak and things like that. We either saw Moose in two. I got a picture of Moose when he was tired there at the very end of it.
We can't tell that story live on air about that face, can we?
In the recap episode. And you're either catching him like this, running, or like this, running back.
Or I look like this Moose, little Moose.
Yeah. You may have a little Moose. We'll talk after stream. Hey.
No.
Anyway, so coming up, we still got to do constitutional amendments. Now, if you read your veteran, there were several constitutional amendments that were proposed. They are going to be voted on tomorrow. And when it comes to constitutional amendments, that's important because that's the governing document of the entire organization. The national constitution is what we have to go by. That covers everybody. And then as you get more fine-tuned on your local level, so your division level and your camp level, then either your division constitution or bylaws and then your camp constitution and bylaws. This is the way it's supposed to be set out is we are a organization that is military in structure, but the power lies in just like in the Confederate Army. Your individual regiments were your cells. That's your camp, so to speak. Those are the men. There were a lot more of them, and they controlled things in a sense. They controlled how the battle was being fought. For example, if a regiment just broke and ran, crap, we just lost the flank. Yeah. Digressing to the point that your everyday SCVs.
Real quick. We're not changing the logo. That's an alternative logo. It's not changing from the official one. We will always have our official logo.
Our corporate logo. I mean, and we're going to digress for a whole different point really quickly, because we have Forrest Dahl sitting in here, and Forrest and I have had this conversation many a time. We will never in our opinion, we should never change the corporate logo.
Yeah, this logo is the logo of the SCV.
Right, and the thing is, if we were to go and change that logo, we would be saying there's something wrong with the Confederate flag and everything that it stands for. But at the same time, it is a good thing to have alternative logos.
This is actually one of the first logos we had.
It's based off one of the first logos that we had. But the alternative logo is there so that if you go, you have to know your market. Plain and simple. If you're trying to recruit at a fair that's not SCV friendly, and are going to completely, kick you out, it's nice to have a backup logo. Sports teams have a backup logo. Yeah. Ole Miss or New Miss, whatever they are now, have not only the old time script of the name, but they also have the big red M. It's that sort of thing. There's some people that are calling for it, but a vast majority of the membership, I would say 95%.
I would say,
and I'm being generous.
90, I was about to say it's
more like 98% want to keep the corporate logo.
I don't think we'll ever change the actual first string, I'll call it, logo for the
corporate.
SCV.
Yeah, the corporate logo that everybody knows. But it's nice to have some backup. The more tools we have in our toolbox available to us, the better off we are. Digressing back to what's actually coming up for this weekend, though, and we'll cover everything that's supposed to be coming up. We've got to give a report at some point on how SCV Chat is doing. There's oratory tomorrow night. We missed the hey guys, this is for Facebook and YouTube. If you're going to put anything disrespectful from emojis to words on there, he's being nice. I have one strike, you're out.
I was about to say, I ain't nice, I'm lenient. If he catches you, he won't. He'll block you. So it's best not to do that type of stuff.
Yeah. So guys, try to keep everything respectful, family friendly, everything like that in the chat.
We understand.
That's all we ask about it, and we're going to change. We're going to move on from there.
Fair enough.
So the next thing is we had the National Memorial Service. Again, we couldn't make that, but that's where we remember our members who passed on in the previous fiscal year. And then we went to supper, and I'm batting 3 for 3 right now. If we're going with sports analogies, I'm picking restaurants.
He is great at picking restaurants. He is the Michael Jordan of picking restaurants.
Easy now. Michael Jordan, there's some stuff about him out there in his personal life. Well, I guess it kind of fit his attitude towards people. Anyway, talk about it after air. Views and opinions, ours. Let's see. So tomorrow we have Constitution amendments. Lieutenant Commander in Chief will be giving his report. There'll be some other surprise things that are going to happen with the business session that the Commander in Chief let me know about. But I'm not going to I'm not going to tip my hand to that yet.
Okay. I think I know what you're talking
Nope,
about.
you have no idea.
I don't. You haven't told me. That hurts.
Nope.
That hurts my feelings.
I found out right before supper.
Oh, okay.
Then oratory contest tomorrow night. And then Saturday, final business session where we actually elect officers. We start with our Army meetings at 8 a.m. Army of Tennessee, Army of Northern Virginia, and Army of Trans-Mississippi will break out into departments. There'll be reports from the different division commanders as well as election of Army officers for the next term, which is 2 years. And then we will go into electing general officers. The Commander-in-Chief will give his report. The past Commander-in-Chief who's rolling off the council will get to say his goodbyes. And then we will have resolutions and any other unfinished business that's good for the order. We'll get that done. Then there'll be the grand banquet and ball. And then we wrap it up and head to our respective abodes. It's a lot that we have to cram into really 3 full days of business. But it's worth it for the good of the organization. Trying to think of what else we've got going on.
It's tomorrow, Friday.
Tomorrow's Friday. Like I said,
we're not playing anything special tonight for chat, right? Just another recap video.
Just another recap video. It may be a little bit later, depending on when we get back from supper, and where it falls in with the oratory. We may do it tomorrow afternoon.
The oratory doesn't start until 8.
Now is that the oratory, or is that the comedy show part of it?
I was about to say, dude, it's very complicated.
We will try to go live at 5:00 Eastern Standard Time tomorrow.
Service 6 to 7. Oratory 8 to 10.
All right, so we will try to go live at 5:00 Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, which will be 4:00 Central Standard Time.
Yes.
That way, we're able to get everything in, and not just staying up so late for everything. Everything else, it has been going pretty well. Everything's moving fast.
I'm about to say today went very quick.
For the amount that we got done with a full hour of opening ceremonies, it ran through very, very smooth.
Yeah.
The Heritage Luncheon was fantastic. That's one thing I'll say is I've heard nothing but good reviews on the food. Very, very good reviews on the food. I can keep my composure, sir.
It was the blow up that got me.
Yeah.
It was the zoom in on it.
We will show that picture on the recap of the reunion.
Yeah, I will see you Monday.
In 2 years.
I say that might not be the best way to start off this new year.
His term.
No.
Mhm.
We'll get in trouble real
We
quick.
probably already are.
Oh, yeah, because you sent it out, didn't you? You sent it out to a couple people.
No.
You sent it to Thomas.
No, I did not send it to Thomas. Thomas created that graphic to send it to me.
He did?
Yeah. He's got a Canva
He's
account.
quick.
He's good. I mean, for a
Tell
hillbilly. Right now, I'm going to let Moose interview Daddy Moose, and I'm going to try to find somebody else for us to interview really quickly so we can fill up a whole hour.
1 second. I got an idea for who you could bring in here because we haven't had him on yet.
We've had him on.
We've had him on, but it's been a while. We didn't talk about him running for anything. We didn't have a chance to bring him on. I know we talked about it.
We talked about it the first time.
Yeah, but we also said we
Talked about it
wanted to
first
bring him on a bit closer to the reunion time. This ain't, you can't get any closer.
True. Let me see if I can grab him.
He's outside. He wanted to be on.
Yeah, I want to see if I can grab
By
him.
want to be on, I mean I'm offering up a sacrifice.
Full time with Daddy Moose.
Did you know that Thomas Franklin has a hilarious Facebook account? I'm surprised I haven't seen him in the chat yet. But yeah, reunion's going great. Everything's going smooth. We flew through everything today. What did you think about today?
Great day. Things got started off on time. Everything flowed smoothly.
You know who wasn't on time?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
GCB.
The budget getting passed, as they've already touched on, that was big. I've been to several national, and I've been to almost every division reunion since I've been a member. And the budget's always a controversial topic, but everything was covered, and the membership was satisfied with what was presented, and it was adopted without any huge debate or controversy. So that was good. Able to
I was
move
about to
through that
say
quickly.
the only thing that happened with the budget was someone wanted clarification, correct?
Yeah,
And that's always good to ask for
Yeah,
clarification.
there was some clarification on one line of expenses, which was answered to everyone's satisfaction. So
Who'd you get?
that was positive.
Hey!
But it's been a great first day. Looking forward to the rest of this thing wrapping up. Positive things happening right now. On a personal note, probably my favorite part of the day, I enjoyed Commander Hill's update on the museum. A lot of fantastic things. If you have not been to the museum, or if you haven't been in a while, you owe it to yourself to take a trip to Columbia and visit our National Museum.
It's amazing.
Better.
I think me and you talked about this. It actually, before, we could say, it doesn't really look like a museum.
It's starting to take
100%,
shape.
yeah.
Starting to take shape. Timeline's coming along. Again, the committee's doing great work. Commander Hill's doing great work. Adam and all the people at headquarters are doing a great job. And just as a member, I'm very appreciative of that. But this time I'm going to step to the side, and we've got someone,
Jack, we'll talk about that tomorrow.
in here that's more worthy of airtime than me. So,
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the great two divisions, California at first and now North Carolina, running for Army of Northern Virginia, Councilman, the man, the myth, the legend, soon to be legend, Kenny Ramsey.
Hey.
Howdy, guys.
I told you we were going to have you back on the show before elections.
And
Good to be here. I was
It's
just
as close as we can get.
Yeah.
I was just sitting outside watching you guys.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And we basically, I put your name like on the
Connor
phone.
came to get me. I kind of heard something about me, and so I started to run.
Yeah.
He
fair
caught
enough.
me.
He did. We wanted to have you on. We wanted to have you on to talk about you, of course, running for Army of Northern Virginia councilman. Talk about your career in the SCV, because you told me some things the other night that I found greatly interesting.
Well, I have been in the SCV quite a while. I've been in for 22 years.
Mm-hmm.
1
year shorter than I've been alive. You're welcome for that.
Certainly. Thank you.
I know that hurt a bit.
I joined in 2000. Became a life member in 2002. Started up a camp in California while I was working out there. That camp is still going. Worked my way up, got to be the division commander for 2 terms out in California. Then, of course, retired, moved back home to North Carolina. One of I won't get mean, one of the best states in the Confederacy.
I'll give you that for state pride. I'm a big state pride guy.
There wasn't a camp really close to me, so I started another camp there, which is still going strong.
Mm-hmm.
Worked my way up there. Currently, I am the lieutenant commander in North Carolina. On top of that, I've had a few various national positions. I was on a heritage team for a couple of times. I was, been aide de camp.
It's a fun position, ain't
It is.
it?
Currently, I am the inspector in chief, and I'm running for A&V councilman right now.
So all I'm hearing is that we have a very well qualified gentleman to my right.
Gentlemen, well, thank you.
I could call you sir like I did. I've been calling him sir just nonstop. I know his name. I just want to call him sir.
Right, and I usually respond with ma'am.
Yeah. It's become a running joke in this reunion. But so from all that, you can tell that this is a very qualified man. Of course, I said this to Charles LeRae. He's running for Army of Mississippi councilman. My opinion doesn't matter because I'm in the Army of Tennessee. But as Harrison the Moose Dawes, if I was in your army, you had my vote.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
If you want to hear my entire platform, I will be putting that out on the oratory contest tomorrow night.
I don't know. Is the oratory tomorrow or is it Saturday?
Tomorrow night.
You might want to wait till after Saturday.
Tomorrow
You
at,
don't want to wait after your election. to tell
tomorrow night,
everybody
8 p.m. oratory.
Oh gosh, the oratory is interesting. Oratory is how Candyman got his name. It is how I ended up with a moose costume, and it is one of the birthplaces of Moose Mania. It's an interesting arena.
Well, it is tough in the oratory. I've been in it a couple of times, and it's hard to go up against a spatula. That is a hard thing to do.
Uphill battle.
It's really an uphill battle. There's
is.
a whole second organization there. Isn't
Absolutely.
there? Speaking of which, have you ever won the oratory?
No. I am usually the runner-up, second, third, something like that.
That happens to Connor all the time. He's either the second or third. He tried to make me do it this year, and then when I was spitballing ideas with him, he was like, "Dude, I have an idea for you. It'd be great." He told me the idea. We talked for an hour about the idea. I'm writing things down, and then Connor told me, "You know what? This idea is too good to give it to you. I'm taking you out of the oratory, and I'm putting myself back in." This all happened in a span of a day. That morning, I got a call from GCB. "Hey, you're in the oratory." At lunch, I said, "I don't know what I'm going to talk about. What's the topic?" And we talked for about an hour. And then by 6 p.m. that night, I was no longer in the oratory.
Well, I was asked to be in it again. As you know, it's only one per division. Nobody else really wanted to do it. I did have one other guy said, "Yeah, I might, but I'm going to wait till there's a topic I like."
That's cheating.
So, and I'm not putting you down, Brother Kirk.
Call him out live on air. But, sir, I had to do that. I want to wish you luck in your election Saturday.
Okay, thank you.
I believe, of course, as an Army of Tennessee person, I believe you're a correct person for the job. I would love to see you in that position. You have seemed to work in almost every capacity that the organization has to offer. And not only did you do it, because there can be many people that do a lot of different jobs, but you were good at those jobs.
Well, thank
And
you.
that's the difference between, an okay leader and a good leader.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you kind of want to discuss or talk on? What have you done?
I haven't done anything.
GCB entered the interview room and the
You're
lights
the same,
strike
man.
frequently. Is there anything else you want to touch on?
Well,
or
I'll only
discuss?
say that you keep mentioning your Army of Tennessee. I know you can't vote for me, but when I am in, if I do make it, I'll be representing everybody.
Hope you do,
Everyone's
sir.
interest. It won't be just A and B. I'm gonna be like some of our American senators and stuff. I'm gonna be promoting. I'll be from North Carolina, but I'll promote some bridge to nowhere in Alaska.
Absolutely.
That's
That
good.
was a
That's,
joke.
that's good to hear.
All right, well, I appreciate it, gentlemen.
Well, I'm going to escort
Thank you
Kenny
for coming
back
on.
out,
Thank you very much.
grab somebody else.
You just walked in here.
And I'm going to escort him back out. I'm going to grab somebody else really quickly.
If-
Spill time.
If you noticing things, GCB leaves me on live air by myself a lot, and he just he walked in here just to grab a drink and he left. Let's see here, what is this? He's drinking Tropica. Just gonna put that over here. All right, so again, Mr. Kenny, everybody. I'm extremely happy to hear that he is running for office. Once I heard all the positions he's done and what he accomplished in those positions, I was happy to hear that he was running for a higher office. A lot of people in the SCV, if they're really good at their jobs, sometimes they don't want to run. And I think that's a mark of a good leader. George Washington didn't want to be president, and Robert E. Lee didn't really want to be in charge of the Army. They felt a calling, a duty to do these things. And so I feel like that's a quality of a good leader. Hi, Mr. Sean. Good to see you in the chat. Victor, be nice. Be nice, Victor. I'll put you in timeout like I put someone else in timeout. But I think I know who we're bringing on next.
There we go.
Faversham. Come on. He's got me doing nothing. So, are we going to have an official talk first before we get into probably some of the greatest comedy that the chat heads have ever seen in their life? So
Carl's not funny.
I hate comedy.
I can tell.
I don't like humor.
I can tell. Last night I could really tell. You're running for the Army of Tennessee councilman, correct?
That is correct. Yes, it
Is there anything you want to discuss and talk on?
is. No, it's been an honor to serve the last 2 years. Served with a really good GEC, good group of men that are dedicated. I think probably the thing I've enjoyed most, aside from visiting camps and going to the reunions and that kind of thing, is having a small part in the museum, writing a couple of the narratives for that. Army Commander Jimmy Hill has really gone above and beyond in getting a lot of work done on moving the museum forward. And he's probably been up here once or twice a week now for several months. And, I wish I could be more of a help in it, but, I kind of have pitched in where time allows and exclusively in the writing segment of it. So I think we've made a lot of good headway the last 2 years in the museum and on other fronts as well. We've had some hurdles to overcome, but we've got a great Army. We've had, I think, really good representation across the board from all of the men, and so I just look forward if our Army AOT wants to, if they want to continue having me representing them as their councilman, I'd be honored to do so.
Well, I'm gonna brag about him real quick because he's a friend of mine, and I feel like he has done a great job. He is one of the smartest men in this whole organization, I think.
Yeah, don't say that around my wife.
Yeah, down there.
She knows me better.
What's that wild asked you the other day? We'll talk about it after.
Let's see. But yeah, no, I believe you're one of the smartest self-taught men we have in this organization. Every time you talk, I am, for lack of a better word, because Connor knows I can't talk really, memorized by any time you give a topic.
Especially when you're mesmerized by it.
Memorized and mesmerized.
At the same time.
Again, mooses can't read. But every time you give a talk, I completely always love it. I always learn a lot. So and of course, our chat heads know. Every time you come on the show, it's one of the biggest shows of the year, every time. So I think that goes to your talent, sir.
Well, I appreciate that.
Your Carlness.
Your Carlness.
Like I tell everybody, I am without doubt. I believe that everyone has a right to my opinion. So.
And if you don't believe it, come to GEC meeting. Moose and I are gonna swap chairs.
All right.
I've got some things I need to ask Carl while I sip on my cranberry juice with a cherry in it.
That's a cherry. I thought it was an olive.
No, I'm not that. It's not that late in the evening.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Start loading up on salt later. So, if you are reelected, what's your goals for the next 2 years?
Well, the same thing that my goals were when I was division commander. I've said for a long time, I think the key to building the organization is in building the camps. The camps are the backbone of the SCV, always have been, always will be. That will never change. I'm good. I think that Jimmy put on a really good training workshop at Pickwick this year. I'd like to have seen a better turnout. I think the turnout will improve with us doing more of those with consistency. I think we're moving them around the Army. And I'd like to see us do more of that. I think that the key to building the camp is training the camp, teaching them how to run more efficiently, how to recruit, how to manage their camp meetings, giving people a reason to want to come to the camp meeting. I think all of that is crucial to having a successful and a thriving organization. And so that would be one of my goals, is to continually try to get information and help the camps improve and grow so that we can grow the organization, not just the Army, but the entire organization. I think that our success, you got, I don't know, what's 14 people on the GEC, which is more effective in the perpetuation of our heritage, the 850 or 70 camps, whatever it is, or 14 men. 14 men are limited. It's only so much they can do. Your division executive council, there's only so much they can do. If we are to be successful, the camps must be successful. And there is there's no changing that fact. It will always be, it's like I used to tell kids when I was coaching football, the fundamentals will always be the fundamentals. They will never change. And it's the same way in the SCB. We just got to communicate those fundamentals to the membership. So,
How do you feel about Thomas Franklin? He's been going around saying that he's having a fundraiser at 3 a.m. He hasn't said what day.
What day? Yeah. I think Thomas is I think he's got a heart that is in the right place. I think he means very well.
He's very underspoken.
Very underspoken, and but hey, he seems to be very sincere, and sincerity is a good thing.
Did you see him walk in earlier today?
Did I see him walking?
Yeah.
I have only heard from several people that he's here. I haven't actually encountered him yet.
Well, he came in for a second during the business session. Looked like a deer in headlights.
Yeah.
And then ran out.
He's probably never seen that many people in one place.
I don't think he has either. What town's he from?
I don't have a clue. I don't even know what state he's from.
I mean, somewhere in the Army of Tennessee.
I'm assuming.
He got access to the Army of Tennessee Facebook page somehow.
He did?
I think so.
I haven't seen that one.
He's evidently endorsing you, according to the chat. So
That's news to me too.
So you've been endorsed by Thomas Franklin.
Well, that's good.
Thomas believes that, horses were only 38 inches tall back in the past. I don't know if you necessarily want to take that endorsement from him or not.
Well, I've heard that about horses.
Your laugh is infectious, Carl.
I thought they were actually 18 inches tall.
18 hands?
Yeah, no, 18 inches.
We may need a whole portion of the museum dedicated to horses.
Yeah, I mean,
Jimmy, if you're watching.
Your average person back then was only around 23 inches tall, 24.
So
we've grown over time.
So you'll be in the oratory tomorrow night?
That's what they tell me, yeah.
Returning reigning champion.
Yeah.
Thomas made a motion in the chat that we do that in the museum, have a part dedicated to horses.
Well, he needs to be here tomorrow on the floor. Hello.
Whoa.
Well, we just lost Thomas.
Everybody that's watching, if you're not here in Cartersville, Georgia, you better make plans for Hot Springs. It's going to be a blast. That's all.
Yes,
I
sir.
agree.
Are you wearing the new SCV hat, sir?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Looking good.
Is that it?
Faversham.
Faversham.
Yeah.
Where from?
Thomas is not pleased right now.
Yeah.
He just said no repeatedly in the chat.
You like that? No.
Thomas just started saying no in the chat as soon as you walked on the screen.
See, I don't think it's anything personal against Larry. I actually think that you two have instigated his animosity.
It's partial us. It's
Don't
us.
tell me
No,
this.
no,
I don't
no,
talk
no.
to Thomas that often.
No. You help me book.
Okay, fair enough.
We were talking about him at supper tonight. Jason was talking about the night he got the bowl stuck on his head and slapped himself out of the chair when he was squatting flies. And I said, well, the way I understand it, he was supposed to be the guest that night.
He was
and
our
then
expert guest.
you and Larry came on and took up all his time. And he started getting aggravated and disrupting the chat.
Yeah, trying to make us pay attention to it.
Right. And so I don't think that, I think that his animosity may be towards Larry, but I think y'all may have caused it inadvertently, as it may have been.
Well, inadvertently we have exacerbated it because he's every time he comes on and he sees either Larry or Jason on there, he just throws up his hands and leaves.
Yeah.
The last time he was on was with Chuck Mack, and and that's the weird thing. He was on there with Chuck Mack and was able to get a word in edgewise.
That is quite a feat.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the only word I've ever heard him spoke.
Yeah, well, it was a whole sentence.
He said a whole sentence?
Thank you.
I guess technically that is a sentence.
Well, he lost service soon after being there.
It looked like he slapped his phone or his camera.
That was when the last time he was on with Jason. Jason just happened to be on, and he got on there and he saw him and threw his hands up in disgust and slapped the camera. I was concerned for him for a second.
I'll say this about Thomas. I mean, Thomas at least has made an effort to be on.
Yeah.
And he's been persistent.
Right.
Unlike the son of Harold Philpott,
who's not even here.
Who prioritizes Pop-Tarts
and popsicles
over the chat.
I mean, Harold and Gladys, God love them, God rest their souls. But they raised a weird boy.
He likes Pop-Tarts.
7:35 in the evening, the boy ain't right. Well, what do you think about today's business session?
I thought it went well. We covered a lot of ground, got a lot of announcements and reports out of the way. I'm curious for tomorrow with the 47 amendments. I don't know how many it is. It's a lot of them.
200.
Yeah, it's a bunch.
I have it from good authority that most of them have been combined.
That's what I heard. I heard as well.
Thomas commented.
Yeah.
Look, I like the Pop-Tarts as much as the next man, but I love being on SCV chat. Well, we love having you, Thomas.
I'd like to see him actually
show up,
say something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we can track him down tomorrow. We're going to be going live at 5 tomorrow afternoon.
There you
go. Right in here, so we can find him and get him in, and hopefully he won't be sniffing his gun.
Is he here?
I saw him walk into the business session.
Okay.
It was kind of like Kramer off of Seinfeld. He got in there, looked around all crazy at all the people, turned around and left.
Yeah. All right.
I think he's been hiding in his room ever since. I know this is a tough time for him to actually make it out because, believe it or not, he actually goes every summer to his local Piggly Wiggly and does a moonshine demonstration. So.
Is he wearing clothes?
Tidy whities.
He looks like Walter White off Breaking Bad.
Bingo.
That's an inside joke.
Yeah, why are you talking about it?
Well, my uncle. No, never mind.
I was about to say, remember we're on the air.
Are you saying that you're related to Thomas?
I'm not related to him.
Talk about that after the show.
What's that all about?
So there's a restaurant in town that I thought the membership of the Mississippi Division that are here representing would enjoy visiting.
Yeah.
Women folk don't want to go.
Oh, okay.
We'll have to talk about that off the air.
Live talks off there, folks. Trying to think of anything else.
Yeah.
He's been very active in the group chat. I mean, the chat tonight.
He's starting to. I don't like crowds.
So what?
I don't like. Let me see. Let me pull it up.
You know, he doesn't like crowds.
I don't like crowds.
Calvin Hart wants to know if you got any salmon in your pocket.
As a matter of fact, I do.
Do you have the cat repellent?
Yes.
Explain that to the people out in chat land.
Well, Calvin and I were having a discussion today about beer tastings. That's
Right.
where they bring you out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different
Types of beer.
And Calvin happened to mention, he said, well, after I drink 2 or 3 of them, they all start tasting alike. And I said, well, that's why you got to cleanse your palate in between beers, and the best way to do that is to eat a bite of salmon. And I said, I never know when a beer tasting is going to pop up, so
God forbid,
I just keep
God forbid you be unprepared.
I keep a fillet of salmon in my pocket at all times. He said, do animals follow you? I said, yeah, but mostly cats. And I'll go by the hardware store and get me some cat repellent.
How often do you change the salmon?
If I don't eat it that day, I'll put it in an omelet the next morning and then just get me a fresh fillet out of the freezer. I've got one freezer that holds nothing but salmon.
Jack, if you're watching, these are good life lessons for you, buddy.
Who's Jack?
He's a young member of Mississippi
Okay.
who enjoys chat.
Some people in parts of Mississippi, they don't use salmon, they use catfish.
Yeah, I was about to say Forrest uses catfish.
But to me, it doesn't have the
Same fish.
same, it doesn't have the same effect.
Actually, last year at the reunion, there were some catfish farmers in town.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, they were probably there for a beer tasting.
Well, there are also some subsoil agricultural specialists.
Beet farmers.
Yeah.
Potatoes.
Thomas asked, "Where do you get the fish from?"
Oh,
He just told you, it's freezer.
yeah, from the freezer. Actually, the son of Harold Philpott is in the Saskatoon fiefdom camp up in Canada.
Right.
And his father, that's actually how I met his father. He was my supplier for salmon fillets.
Well, I thought he sold pianos.
Well, he did that too during the off season.
Oh, okay. Harold was a door-to-door piano salesman.
He wasn't door. He had a shop.
Oh, that's the
Didn't
son
he
of
win
Harold
the challenge
Philpott,
too?
that
Or
was.
did he not? No.
Harold's piano and fish.
Of course he is.
Slogan was, if you can't tune a piano, you can tune a fish. There's nothing like a good joke, man. There's nothing like a good joke.
Y'all are just goofy.
Carl doesn't like humor.
It would be all right for all the laughing and crap. I don't want my posterity to look back on this video and think their granddad was just frivolous or something.
Trust me, we've ruined our public image permanently already with everything we've done.
Not the SCVs, because the views and opinions are ours. Guys, make plans to come to Little Rock next year so you can be a part of this.
Gosh.
We'll actually have a table, hopefully. Not Little Rock, Hot Springs, somewhere in Arkansas.
We'll have a table next year. We've already talked about
Table.
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 Just a table.
Just a table, and occasionally there will be a moose on top of it, signing autographs.
No chairs.
No chairs, no nothing. I'll
We find low sitting chairs.
legit just lay on the
Smack
table and
Puritanism.
just
Yeah.
yell Faversham
Yeah.
at people randomly.
Stepping stools are more versatile.
Well, low sitting chairs like that are too Puritan.
Oh, they are, yeah. Very presumptuous,
Yes.
you know.
My Cavalier ancestors would spin over in their graves in Virginia if they knew I sat in a chair like that.
Well, no doubt. I don't think the Puritans called them chairs. I think they call them Davenports or some silly thing like that.
All right. Well,
With that, I guess it's time to call it.
yeah, we've been at it for 4:49. We've gotten through what we did today. We got a good look at what we'll be doing tomorrow. Guys, if you're here in Cartersville, we're going to be hanging out at the back of back area, come
Talk to
say hey
Chairman.
to us.
No.
Guys,
I'm right there.
remember, we've got all that other good stuff we've mentioned with tomorrow, recap 5 o'clock. Army meeting Saturday. We're planning on whoever the new commander in chief is, talking to him as well as some other interviews. Got a great week. We're only technically 1 day in officially. Still got 2 more days. So y'all tune in. If you're coming into town, be safe, especially with the weather over there in Alabama. We'll holler at y'all later. Until next time, remember, especially if you're here and you're in the hotel with only 1 elevator, no FUMARing in it.
No
Forever
FUMAR.
for all.
That's right.